There's a moment when you first start Guild Wars 2 where everything just feels wrong. Not bad, just confusing. Your inventory fills up with items you don't recognize. You unlock systems the game barely even explains. You earn currencies you don't know how to use. And instead of feeling like you're progressing, you just feel lost. And for a lot of players, that right there is whenever they quit. The inventory is usually the first place things start to feel overwhelming. You end up getting crafting materials. You have unidentified gear. Your inventory ends up just filling up because you have no bag space. And you start to wonder, what do I delete? What if I delete the wrong thing? Luckily, I can help you with a few of these things. Whenever it comes to a merchant or anything, you can end up just going there and hitting sell junk. Usually, everything that is grayed out is typically junk and can just be sold for money, and the game will do that for you by itself. Now, whenever it comes to gear or armor, if the item, whenever you highlight it, is in red, as in the light version of the gear, the medium, or the heavy, you'll know what armor that you end up having to use. If it is red, it means you can sell it or salvage it. That way you don't feel like you're missing out on anything, at least important. Whenever it comes to item rarity, gray is your junk, white is your basic, blue is your fine material, green is your masterwork, yellow is rare, orange is exotic, and then pink is ascended and purple is legendary. Now, whenever you're out and about, you may end up with materials or crafting materials. If you open up your inventory and you look at the top right, there's a little box icon that says deposit all materials. If you click that, all the materials in your inventory will go straight to your material storage, which can be found in your bank, so you don't have to worry about always carrying it around all the time. Now, I know I mentioned salvage kits earlier. You can buy these from vendors. All they do is convert those pesky armor items or those weapons into materials that you can use for crafting. If you end up just clicking on your salvage kit and then clicking on those pieces of armor or weapons, you will turn them into the materials, which then you can put inside of your material collections. This is a good way to keep your inventory a lot more managed and to stop yourself from feeling overwhelmed. This game introduces a lot of systems without really any context. First off, I'm going to show the hero panel. The hero panel has a lot of stats on it at first, but the main one you're really going to be looking at is pretty much just your equipment tab. All of this is it shows your attributes and your stats and all of the equipment that you are currently wearing. There's also different tabs inside of the hero tab of dyes where you can change the color of your outfit, some skins for your glider, your mounts, and a bunch of other things that don't really matter too much, especially early on in the game. There is also the training tab. The training tab is where you're going to be using most of the skill points that you earn in order to unlock new traits. These are what gives you the ability to make your character a lot stronger. While you're unlocking all of these traits underneath your training tab, if you go up one to the build tab, you can actually put on those traits that you've been unlocking underneath the specialization that you chose to focus under. Such as on Revenant, there is the corruption specialization. And as I was training it, I was unlocking all of these different traits that I will be using to round out how my character is going to be played. On top of all of the new systems the game is teaching you, it's also throwing a lot of different types of currencies at you. So much so that it ends up giving you a wallet. This wallet is a good way of not really filling up your inventory, but just places it in a different area. And with this game, you don't really know how to spend these currencies, what they do, or even sometimes how you even got them. I wouldn't worry too much about these, but occasionally you'll find a vendor who will end up using that as a source of currency that they take. But don't let the wallet system or all these different types of currencies bog you down from what the game has in store. Now, the thing with Guild Wars 2 is that for a new player, it doesn't really give you a sense of direction. It doesn't tell you what you should be doing. This is a lot different than regular quest driven MMOs. There's not a quest giver where you take a quest, you go do it, and then you run back. No, in fact, it's completely different. You end up kind of going wherever you want to go. You do a version of quests for this game, but you don't ever have to go back. You can run around the entire area of the map, and all of it's going to be the same. It's not like a certain amount of mobs are going to be crazy high level. No. And you can end up going from map to map to map and not really think about, oh wow, I'm under leveled. That's not how this game ends up working for you. What this game really offers you is the chance to really just explore and wander around. There are events that you can do in each location that just draws you to it. There is a quest line or a storyline for your character to do that does help you push you in a very subtle way of where you want to be going or where you should be going, but overall that can be ignored completely. If you started as a human, you could straight up run the whole way to where the Norn are and start being over there and essentially exploring that entire region. Nothing is really telling you exactly what to do except for yourself. This game gives you a lot of freedom of choice, allowing you to do whatever you want to do. And not being on a railroaded system can be very disorienting, especially in this type of genre of games, or even people who just play story driven games. It's usually point A to point B. This game, it's point A to point A1, A2, A3. It's whatever you want to do, or point A to Z to F to G to L to K. This game really rewards you for just being yourself and taking it at your own pace. If you want to sit there in one area and completely grind out everything in that section, feel free to. But if you get bored and you're like, man, I want a change of scenery, this game fully rewards you for that. Now, I know I talked about this in one of my earlier videos, but why Guild Wars 2 feels so different from other MMOs is that it doesn't have that straight vertical progression of, oh, I need to hit max level. No, it's got horizontal progression, which means once you hit that max level, you can just dive into any lane that you want to, or any lane that you feel like you want to focus on, whether it's doing endgame dungeons or fashion wars of making your character look good, or just decorating your housing. It's got so many different avenues for you to explore down, and that is what makes this game feel so different. On top of that, there's no gear treadmill of, hey, I always got to get the bestest of gear each and every couple months. No, once you have the best gear, you pretty much have the best gear, meaning that there's no forced grind loops except for the grind loops that you want to initiate on your own time. At some point, something changes whenever you're playing the game, almost like a turning point. Things gradually start to feel a lot more familiar. The inventory stops feeling so chaotic and a lot more manageable. The systems start feeling a lot more simple rather than complicated like they used to be. And that confusion you had whenever you were first playing the game gets replaced and starts building into confidence as you start to understand what truly is happening with your character and how you're starting to play the game. So why is it worth pushing through to the end game of Guild Wars 2? It's because this game respects you. It respects you and it respects your time. You can always leave at any point and then come right back and it'll feel like you never left. Just like that one friend who you haven't seen for years, but all of a sudden you link back up and man, you're sitting there cracking and making jokes almost like that time away was nothing. On top of all of that, the freedom that this game gives you to whenever you're leveling up or max level, it's truly eye opening, especially for an MMO. No MMO gives you so much freedom to do whatever you want, whether it's you just focusing on the story, you grinding out a bunch of materials to level up your crafting, to just grinding out achievements just so you can have the highest ArenaNet point score in your party or even out of all of your friends. This game just allows you to literally do whatever you want, and not a lot of people are used to it, but it's one of the best reasons about this game. Now, it's important to keep in mind that whenever MMOs come out at first, especially whenever this game came out, a lot of players ended up putting it down right whenever the game came out because there wasn't a lot of content whenever you reached max level. Well, this game has been out for more than a decade, meaning they have had plenty of time to fill that end game content with so many things to do. So you can spend countless hours doing so many different things because ArenaNet has taken so much care and love into this game, really expanding on that horizontal progression. Whether it's you like doing one thing or you like doing another, there is so much content in this game for you to do. You'll end up losing yourself a little bit, not knowing what you really want to focus on, but you will find something and it contain hours and hours of content. And if you got bored of that, guess what? You can jump ship and find another thing in this game that you want to focus on, knowing that you can jump right back to where you left off before and the other thing that you were doing, and it's going to be right where you left off. So if you're confused right now, trust me, that is normal. You're not behind, you're not doing anything wrong, you're just at the beginning, and there's a whole world for you really to discover. So just take it slow. You'll be fine. And I hope to see you all in the land of Tyria one day.